Hey everyone. So I want to do a quick little video here just to show you the enhancements that are going to be coming soon related to dWAR and its trackability and visibility for individual players. So today, currently, if you go to, and by the way, I just want to point out, I'm in my sample league right now, so it looks a little sparse. And I'm also on a test server, so it's going to be a little slow. So bear with me here. But I want to go to team stats because today this is where you currently have the D plus or minus number for teams. And you have this today where it keeps track of a rolling number of how many plus and minus defensive plays were made by your team. So you can see this team with 3, they have made net 3 positive plays. This team's made net -1. So you can gauge which teams are doing better defensively. I also want to quickly point out that while I was in here making some changes with dWAR, I was able to quickly add one other feature that's long been on my mind, and someone brought it up on the boards recently, and I figured this is a good time to throw it in there because I'm working on things. And it's quality starts. So quality starts is now going to be both a team stat and an individual stat as well. And for those who don't know, quality start is just a pitcher who went 6 innings and gave up 3 or less earned runs. So it's a pretty easy thing to track, but a nice way to just see which of your pitchers are performing consistently well. So that's the team stats page. But let's go start to take a look at how this manifests in the box scores. So I'm going to jump to, actually, why don't I jump to a team that has some positive dWAR plays and see if we can find some examples. So just going to jump to this first box score here for this team. Okay, so the first thing you'll see is a new D column in the box score, so you can quickly scan and see who made the impactful plays. In this particular game, Cronin had 2 positive plays. He's a guy with a particularly high dWAR at shortstop, so expect him to make a lot of good plays. And Todd Helton for the other team also had a positive play. He has a much lower dWAR, so it's probably not going to make quite as many plays throughout the course of a season. But what's interesting now is that you can really see the impact on the game, and it's pretty, just in some of my few tests here, it's pretty astonishing to see the impact. It's definitely impactful. Now this was a 4-0 game, so it might not be quite as impactful here, but you can really see in some box scores how one play really changed the course of a game. But I want to show you, so here in the bottom of the second on the right side here, you see that on the ground out, it notes that Cronin robbed a hit. So it just lets you know that it's the same ground out. There aren't many changes right now in the replay play-by-play, but in the box score you'll be able to see which play was impacted. And so if I keep scrolling down, here is the play that Helton made on the Heilman ground out. Helton robbed that play. And here's Cronin's second play in the bottom of the third. So all 3 plays in this game happened pretty early. Now let's take a look at an example. Let's go back to team stats of the other way around. So those are positive defensive plays, but what happens on a negative play? So I'm just going to jump to the team that has a -1 here because I know that they've made a negative play. Let's go to this 7-6 loss. And so again, just scanning the box score, you can see each team actually had a negative play. So Berkman did, and Manny Ramirez in right field. Ramirez in this particular season has I think a -2.15, so a pretty dramatic minus dWAR. And in this game, it's really interesting because Ramirez's play was very costly. So if you scroll down the box score now, the negative plays are a little different in how they're denoted. There's just an asterisk by the hit, so you can tell which hit was impacted. And there's also a key here down at the bottom of the play-by-play now. Poor defense accounted for the hit, but it's not an error. So you see Franco's double here in the top of the 9th was very costly. That was the play Ramirez made, the misplay by Ramirez. And it resulted in 3 runs scoring. So you can definitely see where dWAR had a huge impact on this particular game. I do want to note it looks like I have a little bit of work to do still to clean this up before it gets out there, because I'm noticing that it looks like Berkman's play was over here on the Manny Ramirez single between third and short, but obviously I think Berkman's in right field, and our right fielder obviously could not impact that play. So I've got a little work to do just to make sure the plays are syncing up with the correct area of the field. But that's a quick look at how you're going to be able to view these things. Let's take a look just real quickly at some player cards. So going to Ramirez's card here, his total for the season is now -1. That'll be on all the stats you see throughout the site, and it's also going to be in the game log, so you'll be able to scan a player's season and see what they've been doing. And then also just want to point out real quickly that it looks like no one in this particular game had a quality start, but I'm going to just go find a game with a quality start. So let's just take a look at this first box score. This was a 4-0 game, so it looks like there was one quality start in this one. It was Arrieta, who threw 8.2 innings and no runs. Greinke here, because he gave up the 4 earned runs, did not have a quality start. So if I click on Arrieta, you can see now he's getting tracked. There's his quality start, and the same thing in the game log. There's his quality start. So that'll be a real nice way with the game log to be able to scan your pitchers and just see, how often are they giving you strong outings, and those will show up throughout the site. So that's just a quick spin of what's coming in terms of helping you see the impact of dWAR. And I do want to note here that this is the beginning of the fine-tuning, right? More fine-tuning that will happen. With new features on the site like this, it's always important to let it bake and get it right. I think as we now are able to see the direct impact more closely, I think we as a pen and chase community are going to be able to decide what the threshold of that impact should be. Is it too much? Is it too little? Is it too much for certain players, too little for certain players? And so there will be some adjustments. Those are just things that always happen on this site with a new feature. I know it impacts leagues that are in progress and people who are doing drafts and rookie prospects and all that stuff. I know it impacts what you guys are doing. It impacts my teams as well. It impacts my teams in my leagues as well. But this is just a fact of life. With the site, especially a free site like this, I mean, there's no other way for me to do it other than globally, and so we just kind of have to deal with it. But I don't expect it to really change much. I think it's set at a pretty good rate. But again, we'll look at this and see what the impact is, and there might be some fine tuning, but otherwise things are pretty solid. So. Hope this helps and it's enjoyable. I'm sure it will spark a lot of interesting conversation, and I'm definitely excited to get it out there. I don't have a date yet. It looks like I got a few things I got to clean up before it gets out there, but it should be coming soon.